My intention for this video is to explain more deeply the metaphor and symbolism of the ancient temple, its connection with the divine feminine, and why understanding the principle of sacred union, not just understanding it but applying it, will become essential to our individual and collective spiritual journey as the great shift of consciousness continues. A little while ago, I did a video presentation about the shifting energetic frequency of our global society and how we are actually approaching a critical threshold. It is important to understand that everything has inherent frequency, including organic life forms. Humans are no exception, but not all humans are vibing at the same rate. However, the sum total of our collective vibration is increasing as more and more people embrace higher spiritual truths and realities, become kinder and more loving in their behavior towards their fellow man. The highest vibration of all is love, or the state of absolute unity. And this is the most important thing I want you to remember as I continue. So, if I can just ask you to visualize our map of the ancient Hebrew temple from some of my earlier videos, the energetic threshold we are approaching corresponds to the entrance to the doorway leading to the holy place, the mid-zone bridging the outer courtyard and the Holy of Holies, wherein lies the Ark of the Covenant and the fullness of the divine presence. So these three main zones, the outer courtyard, the holy place, and the Holy of Holies, as most endowed Mormons understand, represent the telestial, terrestrial, and celestial divisions of the cosmic order. The celestial kingdom is the realm of duality, the realm our world is currently in, and the only realm where separation consciousness exists. In the higher realms, represented by the sacred vaginal space of the woman, unity consciousness prevails. It is not, in fact, possible for a being who has not achieved or returned to a state of unity consciousness to exist within the higher realms for any sustained period of time. The energy is too powerful and they would be dissolved. More on that later. The salient point is our entire planet is at a stage in its evolution where it is in process of exiting duality, of passing through the barrier, or through the doorway if you will, between the outer courtyard and the holy place. And only those who attain a state of unity consciousness will be able to survive this passage. You might think I'm being dramatic, but remember the parable of the 10 virgins and the coming of the bridegroom in the dead of night. Jesus never used metaphors haphazardly, but was always very specific in the details. If you remember, I likened the holy temple layout to the particulars of union with the sacred feminine, and the passing of the high priest through the veil to the entry of the male member through the vaginal hymen, in what constitutes the ultimate sacrament ritual of holy marriage union. This sacred metaphor in the temple and of the union between husband and wife represents this period of passage of our world as separation passes into union. On the Jewish holy day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, or At One Meant, a sacred union, in ancient times the high priest, symbol of the worthy husband, would sprinkle blood from the animal sacrifice onto the kipporet, or mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant inside the Holy of Holies. This blood of the lamb symbolized the blood from the breaking of the sacred feminine hymen, which accompanies entry into the holiest place within a woman. The kipporet has on top of it 2 cherubim with wings outstretched and touching, representing the male and the female who have together achieved a state of unity consciousness through their sacred bond. Kippur means union. Kipporet means more specifically union with the feminine. It is here, through sacred union, that the bride and the bridegroom are reconnected with the Holy Mother of all. In the parable, Jesus stated that there were 10 virgins, 5 of them foolish and 5 of them wise. While it is true that these virgins bearing lamps can relate to followers of Christ, etc., the Spirit has taught me that the reason Jesus specifically used the number 10 was because on a deeper level of understanding, the virgins represent the 10 sephirot of the tree of life, or the 10 emanations of the divine feminine, as illuminated in the ancient teachings of the Jewish Kabbalah. Each of these emanations has its correspondence in furnishings within the temple and relate to different vibrational levels Just as the 7 chakras of the Eastern system also correspond to vibrational levels within the human system and cosmic order. The 5 foolish versions symbolize the lower 5 Sephirot, which are the 5 Sephirot below the level of the celestial realm, those which lead from the outer courtyard all the way up to the sacred veil of the temple, while the 5 wise virgins represent the 5 Sephirot within the celestial realm, or the Holy of Holies, where the light of Christ consciousness or unity with the divine is absolute. In the parable, the 5 virgins bearing their illuminated lamps are able to enter the doorway to the marriage feast, while those 5 who were not ready with their lamps are barred from entry. When they beg to enter, Christ, the divine bridegroom, says to them, "I know you not." These are those of a lower vibratory state, not at the level of Christ or unity consciousness, and are thus unable to penetrate into the higher realms where unity consciousness is the entire order. This is not unkindness, it is simply natural law. It is no different to a block of ice passing a threshold from a cold place to a warmer one. The ice cannot do so and remain ice. It will be reduced to a liquid state. Now, we are at the point in human history where we cannot stay in a frozen spiritual state and expect to pass successfully through to the next phase. We need to warm up. We need to light our inner fires now and match our inner temperature to that of the higher levels, or we will find that the heat from the collective rise of consciousness will have more of a disintegrating effect on our individual identity. The process has already begun. It has been underway for some time, but it is happening in earnest now. What appears as increasing chaos is simply the disintegrating of structures not aligned with the higher frequencies of love. There will be no turning back from this point. Any system of government, any organization, any structure, any relationship even, that is based on lower frequency energy such as shame, greed, hatred, envy, fear, etc., will not survive the transition. So, what can we do to raise our vibration to a sufficient level? In a word, love. We need to bring ourselves into a state of union by consciously doing those things, which will enable us to be filled with the high frequency state of love. We all have emotional baggage, but all that really means is that there are fear blockages in our energy channel between our base and our crown. It is possible to overcomplicate things by overanalyzing everything that is going on in our minds and spend all our time trying to mentally decode our problems. But the truth is, it's now time to cut to the chase. And the following advice is as much for myself, 100% as much for myself, as it is for anyone who might be listening. 1. Watch your thoughts. It doesn't matter what they are. If they don't fill you with feelings of kindness or love towards yourself or other people, replace them. Think something nice and kind instead. Think about things that make you feel peaceful and happy. If negative thoughts persist, sit with them from a place of compassion and see what they are really trying to say. Think kindly about yourself. Utterly refuse to put yourself down. It doesn't matter how justified you think your self-deprecation is, the time for shame is over. That is what flipped us into duality in the first place. It is literally what caused us to fall from the higher realms, feeling like we were less, feeling separate from God. So put aside all feelings of shame, understanding that God made you exactly the way you are, and God doesn't make mistakes. Secondly, watch your words. If your words aren't having the effect of uplifting and inspiring those around you, say something nice and kind instead. It doesn't mean telling lies, but it does mean sitting with whatever you're about to say, making sure it is coming from a place of genuinely trying to help yourself and others. Remember, Jesus said, "It isn't what goes into a man, but what goes out of a man that defiles him." Words can either bring us closer together, or they can divide us. Speak healing, not hatred. Third, watch your actions. Simply live the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That goes for children, that goes for everybody. This is the cosmic law of union. You cannot dwell in the higher realms without abiding in this law. Actions against others are actions against ourselves. When you serve others, you're really serving yourself. Treat not only others, but yourself with kindness. This is vitally important. To live in alignment with the law of love, you must be caring towards yourself. You can only receive the level of love you feel worthy to receive. Know you are worthy no matter what you have done. The past does not matter. Only the present is real. In every moment, choose to give love and to receive it. Know that you matter. Know that you are loved. It is not unworthiness, but only a fear of unworthiness which keeps us from experiencing the fullness of the grace of the divine. And this is where the key principle of sacred union really comes into play. God is love, and God is in the present moment. Anything which brings you into the present moment in a state of love will bring you into a state of union with the divine. Whether it is spending time doing activities which bring you joy, serving others, breathing, meditation, singing, spending time with people you love, all of these kinds of things will help center you in the present when done with a peaceful and grateful mindset, and will thus raise your vibration. And, drumroll, intimate union between a man and a woman is the most powerful way of achieving a state of inner union. When the sexual energy between a couple who are giving and receiving love and are completely present to that experience is allowed to build as a regular sustained practice, this can have the effect of clearing the energetic channels within them and raising their vibrations to intensely higher levels. No expensive therapy required. This practice is so powerful that the keys to practicing it successfully have been hidden for many centuries but are now being revealed to the general public. There were many reasons why this information has been kept hidden, some good, some evil, but I believe it is coming forward now as a tool to help as many people shift as quickly and effectively as possible. And I am far from the only voice heralding these truths. I'm going to speak more on all of this later and continue to speak of it as long as the Spirit continues to urge me to do so. But in the meantime, let's all focus our energies on filling ourselves up with as much love and gratitude and joy as we possibly can, irrespective of whatever chaos is going in the world. I'm not talking about being an ostrich. I'm just talking about, building up the joy and the love within you, irrespective of what you can see going on. And just do your best. The only way forward is up.